And it's like
Not even Outback era, just like way before. Okay.
not even the Outback era. Like, yes,
Okay. Okay.
like the pink armor and cape is right there.
I
Like,
mean, I figured we
and
all go back to
like if you want
back.
to go back to a template, let's go back to the templates, okay? How do you
I
think we
figured.
got? All right, hello guys, we are back for another episode of Another Relaunch. I am Keenan.
What's up, y'all? I am LZ.
How are you doing this week, LZ?
Ciao. I I'm all right. It's been such a long week with like
Oh,
working
I feel that.
and uh the day job. I just this is for the
I'm,
birds.
didn't we have this conversation? Didn't we have this conversation? It is time for rich men. For
Come
rich
school.
men to come pick us up and just say you don't have to do anything else ever again. Like ever again. And that's
hmm
all we need. It's that time.
Leave me alone and let me read my comic books. That'd be
Okay. All
fantastic.
right. And speaking of comic books, we had a lot this week, so let's go ahead and actually get into that. So we'll start up with the first up on our list is I'm actually not even going to do this. It's Immortal Hulk number 45. Al Ewing, Joe Bennett, and who was doing the colors? Paul Mounts is doing the colors on this issue. We're 45 issues in. It's good. We're going to move on. Next up, we have Nocterra number 2 from Scott Snyder. And this has art from Tony Daniel. Yeah, I get picked up the second issue. Tony Daniel's on the art, and Tomo Mori is on the colors for this. Now, um, I've come to the realization that Tony Daniel's art. No. So it's like I've come to the realization that Tony Daniel's art might not be for me. It's not like super to my taste. I think it's fine. I think he does a good job with the story. The story itself is like kind of weird. I think if you remember from the last time I told you, basically there was some big catastrophe that happened on Earth. It turned the sky completely black. There's this girl, Val. She's a truck driver. She helps get people through. People who are left in this darkness too long become mutated. So at the end of the first issue, this character named Blacktop Bill, he like is looking for the guy who Val is taking to this next location. He says he's the guy who blocked out the sun. This issue is kind of the next part of that. She's kind of confronting the guy, saying what's really going on. He's telling her this lie about how he was in the sanctuary and they were trying to do this thing to reach heaven, and it backfired, and that's how the sun got blotted out and the sky became black. And she's like, I don't believe that. So back at the place where the truck drivers hang out, Blacktop Bill has like killed a bunch of people, set the rigs on fire. So some girl calls up Val and she's like, look, this man is coming after you. You need to get on the road. Blacktop Bill shows up and he says, all you got to do is give me the guy and I'll let you and your brother live. And so she starts kind of backing the truck up and she tells the guy, she's like, tell me the truth. And so the dude's like, okay, I was never at this sanctuary. Everything I've been telling you was a lie. He's like, if you want to know the truth, he's like, we're in hell. He's like, but I just want to try and make it to find a way to be livable. And she's like, that's the realest thing anybody's ever told me. And she drives off with the guy. Blacktop Bill is like, okay, I like you. And then the issue ends. It's weird. I feel like this book kind of has everything that I enjoy. Like there's action, there's like mystery, it's got like monsters in it, there's a little horror stuff, like the villain's very menacing. We got our femme fatale lead, we've got a little brother. It's just not clicking though.
Okay.
It's just not clicking. For me,
Do you think it's the
personally,
art? You think it's the art?
I think it is the art. And again, it's just like I've just might come to the realization that Tony Daniel's art is not to my taste. So I think if you're into that kind of stuff, go ahead. I actually recommend people go and pick it up. I think it's very well written. Again, it's just not clicking for me. I might still pick up the next issue just to see where it goes, but I'm not completely sold on like sticking with it full time just yet.
Okay. All right.
Okay.
Check it out, y'all. What would you rate it?
3.5 out of 5.
Okay.
For sure. Yeah.
Okay.
Most definitely. Yeah. That's what I would go. So then next up on the list we have Seven Secrets number 7. Very excited. Oh, that was a nice little ton of Seven Secrets number 7.
Yeah,
Um,
nice job at that.
yeah. From Tom Taylor, Danielle De Niculo, and Walter Biamonte. Now, I'm very excited to have this series back. We're in issue 7. I honestly don't remember what happened the first 6 issues. It's been a little bit of a break since we had the last issue. I should have actually went back and read them, but this one was still very fun. I do remember that the Secrets and the Keepers are keeping the 7 secrets of the world. Their base was destroyed, so now they're kind of like on the run. Casper, the main character, he's like in this weird, like kind of space sea type of universe, and he's trying to swim to this kingdom. There are these two like fairies that are following him, and they basically try and make him relive this life that he apparently lived with them. But they're also about to make him walk off a cliff. It was very dramatic. It was very dramatic. But like
Oh,
just
that's
as that
drama.
happens, yeah, right. But just as that happens, like his mom and another guy who's one of the other keepers like pop up and they're like, hey, they rescue him. But apparently the life these fairies showed him about living on this island with them was real. And so he kind of confronts his mom and he's like, what haven't you told me? Like, who am I? What's been my life? Why don't I remember all these things? Why was it hidden from me? And she's like, that's a story for another day. And so we reunite with the rest of the seekers and keepers, holders and keepers, excuse me, who
Okay.
have the secrets, and the issue ends. It's good. I
Okay.
feel like I feel like Tom Taylor does a really good job at like handling character voices, character interaction, making you feel the emotion. Like he is stellar with that. I won't lie, he feels a little safe. Like
Mm.
even though things are going bad, like everything's gonna go like right. Like
Yeah.
it's all gonna be fine then. But it's still a really good story. The action is good. This was a little bit more like digging deeper into the mystery. I still highly recommend it though. It's only 7 issues in, so everybody has plenty of time to get into it.
Okay. Nice. Do you feel like
Pick it
it's
up.
starting like a whole nother arc with this issue or
Yes.
okay.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah. We'll see. Because I'm like trying to think about I had to like go back in my head and like think about what's happened in all the other issues as well. And I was like, no. Like there's still definitely a continuation. There's like an overtone of what the story arc is. But you can tell he's planting things to keep it going for a long time, hopefully. Good book.
Okay. Check that out,
Mm.
y'all.
All right. And so, next up on the list is one I actually did not read. We
Okay.
have Star Wars: The High Republic #4, and this is by Kavan Scott and Ariel Anadito.
Yes. So
This is
I
all
did
you.
read this one. This is all me.
This is all you. This is all you.
And I will say that I've had an interesting thing when it comes to like mini series where I feel like from one issue to the next you feel like, damn, I feel like I just missed a bunch of stuff. But then I have to remember that it's a mini and they can only really like tell so much of a story in it. And this issue kind of had a little bit of that where you in the last issue, basically all of the heroes had been kind of captured by this plant like creature thing that could kind of take over people's bodies. And
Okay.
Kiev is the main Jedi Knight. She just got her knighthood. We've been like following her, and her Jedi Master had recently like been going crazy on this recent mission that they were going on, and he's been like kind of bloodlusted a little bit more, and he's been bringing up the fact that he lost his arm, and then he ends up being the one like most susceptible to this creature and gets up getting taken controlled over by this plant thing. Well, this issue like we kind of jump ahead to them already being captured and just kind of like doing the whole plead for their lives while their former friend or current friend that's being controlled is like telling them like, no, I'm gonna just take over this whole planet.
Mm-hmm.
So in this issue, they are the main heroes are sitting there still being captured. Uh, the taken over Jedi Master, the like kind of lizard looking guy, he I can't think of his name. I can't think of his name right now, but he is like being controlled by this plant creature, and he's telling them like, no, I've been taking over this planet. I've been feeding on the people of this planet, and the this planet's kind of like not a part of the empires and it's not a part of anything yet. It's like one that is kind of on the outskirts. So they have just been like farming and like there's not a lot of people there. And they had just kind of got this contact for the first time really with these Jedi. And the
Right.
person who has been like leading this planet has been like feeding the people to the plant creature, and like he knew it. So
Oh,
because he's looking at it like he just wants to have the power of this planet, he don't care. So
right. Okay.
um, they end up trying to basically get to their Jedi friend and break through to him. He finally breaks free of the plant creature's control, and at the end of the book, some huts appear because if you guys remember the last issue, there was a hut that they found on a different space station, but it was dead. Well, it turns out that it was not dead. It was actually controlled by that plant creature. So it ends up
Hmm.
waking up and like starting to attack all the Jedi. They have to kill the hut. And the hut's brother like appears at the end of the issue, letting people know that he's looking for his brother and that
Oh,
that planet is now under hut control because the huts are like like bounty hunter people who like run after stuff and like get stuff with their
are the
money.
huts? Are the huts? No, the huts aren't the ones like in the white chunky suits, right?
No, the huts are the one. If you remember that, those are stormtroopers.
Oh, okay. Oh wait, no, Jabba the Hutt. He's
Jabba
like
the
the
Hutt.
big fat
Yep,
guy, right?
there you go.
Okay. The
Yeah,
slug. He's like a
yeah,
slug. Yes, yes,
yes,
yes. Okay. I know
yes.
that.
And now like I assume that's gonna be his brother. Like that's they kind of look, they're drawn similarly. But he appears and he's like the Hutt cartel is here to take over this planet, and that's where the book ends. So it's basically going to
Okay.
be them, the Jedi now fighting the Hutts. I feel like this series has been all right. I've been a little lukewarm to it because this is supposed to be like the new kickstart to like the new Jedi era. So now that we've all finished with everything that was going on in the movies, that was like post Darth Vader. Now
Mhm.
this is stuff. It's like the High Republic is supposed to be way before the Empire even rose. So it's like in
Mhm.
like a prosperous time, and they're supposed to be introducing these new villains called the Nihil, but I haven't met them yet. all they've talked all they've talked about in this series so far is that they exist and that the
Mm.
like lizard Jedi Master, like that's how he lost his arm, was like fighting them, but like we haven't seen them yet. And
Okay.
this is just a mini series, so I'm like, when are we going? I thought this was supposed to like
So
break open the
is it
doors
only
to the.
5 issues?
It's 6 issues, but
Okay, so you
that's
got
it.
2 more issues. So they gotta like fit a lot in 2 issues, is what you're
Yeah.
saying. Or or we have to like spin off into something else. Because isn't that supposed to be
Mhm.
the thing with like all the Star Wars comics and shows and like movies that everything is connected?
Yeah, they're all like connected with each other. You can kind of just pick your favorite thing and
Hmm.
follow it all through, and they all kind of piece off into each other. But normally, what happens is similar to, I guess, like kind of the X-Men line. There's like the Star Wars line of stuff,
Hmm.
and then there's like the Bounty Hunter books and
Okay.
the like more strictly Jedi books. So like it's like all kinds of
Do you
things that.
think that whatever they're just building in this story, they're just like waiting to put somewhere else and maybe like another show or like a movie and we'll see it more there?
I feel like this was a more of an introduction for Kiev, like this like cute. I don't want to say black. She's like drawn black, but she's not human. So like
Okay.
there's like black girl who is the Jedi Knight of the story, who you're like kind of following and go through her trials. I feel like this was more of an introduction to her,
Okay.
and she's really cool. But I would rather watch her explore the universe and not just like be stuck on this planet. I thought that I
Okay.
was going.
That's fair.
And by universe, I don't mean like the entire like Star Wars galaxy. I mean like the Star Wars High Republic. Like I thought that we were going to be following Kiev as like the Nihil are introduced,
Hmm.
and she's going through her trials or whatever. But it's mostly just been her on this planet dealing with this issue.
Okay.
So maybe what I'm looking for is actually in other stuff. This is the only Star Wars The High Republic comic book out, but they've released a bunch of books and stuff like that.
Mm.
So I probably gotta read the books.
You gotta read some novels. That's what you're telling
Yeah, I gotta
me.
read the books. Yeah.
What would you rate this issue?
I would give this a 3 out of 5.
Oh, okay. That's
Yeah,
fine. That's fair.
yeah, it's
Okay.
right. Still great art. I like the art.
Okay. That's
Yeah.
fair. Okay. Well, next up on our list is the Swamp Thing #2, and this is from Ram V and Mike Perkins with art by, with colors by Mike Spicer. Now, I love Ram V. And I think this book has only helped me realize like how much of a Swamp Thing fan I actually am.
Okay.
And like I would not I followed a lot of his books. Like I even remember the Swamp Thing show that was on HBO Universe, DC Universe when that was launching. Like I was all
Yeah.
about that show. Like the Swamp Thing, I don't know what it is, but I'm just so into these stories. And like Ramby has introduced us to a new Swamp Thing. His name is Levy. And so
Okay.
the first issue, we basically had him kind of getting, I guess, taken over by the Green, and he was like having these transformations in the Swamp Thing. So this issue, this guy, Pale Wanderer, who's like this ghost in the desert killing people, has been pulling Swamp Thing out at night to like watch him kill all these people. Levy finally like kind of takes control of it and really accepts being part of the Green and like what it means for him and what it means to his like legacy and his fatherhood, and he's able to defeat the Pale Wanderer. And like at the end of it, there is a giant tree like sprouts up in the middle of the desert. And so through it all, there was like this sheriff who was like trying to stop the Pale Wanderer, and like the Pale Wanderer was about to kill him. He's like, "Oh, you're drunk, like you're bad." And so when the people are asking him about it the next day, they're like, "What is this?" And he's just like, "It's a tree." he's like, he's like, "It's a giant tree in the middle of the desert." Because like when Swamp Thing killed the Pale Wanderer, he like basically put some of him into him, and like the tree sprouted from out of his body. It was
Oh,
like
okay.
it was dope. Like Mike Perkins is killing it on art on this book. Again, it's a horror comic, so you know I'm all about it.
I know you're loving it. Yeah.
Like I am all about it, and it's just like the story that he's telling, the way he's getting into the mindset. Like Ramby has a really good he does a really good job at like getting into the mindset of a character. It's like I know Tom Taylor can like kind of hit everybody's voice. Ram V like really gets into like what's broken about you, like what's breaking you down, and like bringing that to the surface and like making you really get into that part of it. And so I love that. Um, and again, because this guy is new, you don't feel like beholden by years of continuity or other things that's happened with Swamp Thing or like who the other ones are. It's just like the Green is the Green. It's always here. It just wants the Earth to survive, and it's gonna find a host. And then this guy's the host because he's going through all this like family issues, and like his dad just died, and he kind of like hates himself a little bit. Um, but it's great. I would give this a 4 out of 5, a 4.5 out of
Wow.
5
Okay.
actually, a 4.5
Well,
out of 5.
damn. All right.
Yeah, like yeah, this is really good. And so I thought this was an ongoing series, but apparently it's not. When I this issue says number 2 of 10, so
Oh, okay.
um, you don't have to like really worry about I guess reading it right away. I would love for people to read it right away and buy it so it can continue on and like show that support. But it's something I guess if you want to wait a little bit, trade weight, you can have some time because it is a finite number of issues.
How do you feel about that? Do you think like that's like become a trend recently?
So I would
And
have
do
said in the past.
you prefer it?
So I would have said in the past, yes. I feel like a lot of books weren't making it past like 12 issues. And I feel like publishers were scared of their books making it past 12 issues. And so a lot of people really kind of started to write their stories in that time frame, especially even like when Tom King did like the Vision series, the
Hmm.
Mr. Miracle series, they felt very self-contained. There was like even a Old Man Hawkeye series that I think that did that. But I will say I feel like Immortal Hulk has kind of broken that curse, and I feel like comic book runs are lasting for a much longer time, especially like even during the pandemic. Like we weren't doing anything
Hmm.
else, and I think I saw like some figures on that like sales did actually go up a lot, which makes sense. So I hope that like trend continues. I hope people enjoyed the books while they read them, and so that way it's like even as we start to go back outside, you take some time, like an hour or so, stay
Yeah.
inside, read your comic books.
Take your comics outside.
Take them outside. That's what digital's for.
Hmm.
Um, but yeah, like definitely highly recommend it. I'm into this book. I'm into it. Next up on our list is Avengers number 44
Oh,
from Jason
child.
Aaron, art by Javier Garron, and colors from David Curio. Now,
I do like
we're not
Javier.
gonna we're not gonna stay long on this. This arc, this is the end of the Phoenix arc. It was
Oh.
not good. It's over. It was not good. And I'm gonna tell you why it's not good. So first of all, so in this thing, he has made the Phoenix Thor's mom,
Mm.
and he has now made Echo the Phoenix.
I, Wait, what? I don't. Why can't? Why can't?
Echo is now the Phoenix. So we've gone through all these issues. They were fighting. So basically, all the leftover heroes, Namor, She-Hulk, Captain America, Black Panther, Shauna, the She-Devil, somebody else. I never remember the other chick's name. They're still all fighting to be the Phoenix. Echo, but apparently, who was defeated by Namor in the last issue, she's like rising out of the ocean, covered by all these little firebirds, talking about how the Phoenix apparently like chose her because she lost, and like the Phoenix is all about like, I don't know, it's this weird monologue that just like does not fit. It talks about how it picked her because she, the Phoenix has had many hosts, but it's never had a host who could fight in any style because Echo can mimic anybody. So like she does this thing where she goes to fight Namor, and he's like, "Oh, that's Atlantean Kraken style. How do you know that?" Like it's just not good.
Mm.
And so Echo flies off with the Phoenix Force. Jean makes an appearance. And she's like psychically reaching out to Echo, and she's like, you're a loner, but don't do this alone. The Phoenix loves to thrive off of loneliness, and like and then like when the Phoenix is leaving all the other hosts to go into Echo, they have like Valkyrie holding Thor back because he's screaming. He's like, "No, bring back my mom. Like that's my mother." Like what? Nice. Like it just does. It's like not good. Like it doesn't make sense.
What was the point of that retcon? Like why?
I think Aaron's bored.
Okay.
I just think he's like a little bored, and so he's like, I just want to have some fun. Honestly, this is one of those runs that I don't think anybody's ever going to reference ever.
Yeah, I agree. I think because of the title, it has to be put out. But I feel like this isn't something that I think is ever going to be like.
And I think I've said it before, especially like with previous issues. This feels like a book that is very much written for the MCU. Every arc is just like a big movie that you want to see, like getting heroes battling, doing all this stuff. You can make it something in there. But for anything else, no. Like I genuinely do not. Who's going to see Echo as the Phoenix in Marvel Universe, like the MCU? Is that what you want to see?
No, that's not what I want to see.
Like who wants to see? Like no, you don't want to read that in your comic books. You don't want to see that a lot. Like no, it's just not. I don't know. I think he's just bored, and he's kind of just like, I'm just going to do whatever because he has, I don't know, Heroes Reborn coming up, and then it's supposed to be Avengers Reborn.
That's him.
That is him.
Interesting. Did the book finish with like a setup for the next arc, or did it just end?
It ended, but we do know that the next arc, the next issue is the King in Black tie-in.
Wait, I thought that was over.
It's like it was like something with Blade like fighting No. I was just like, what's going on? I was just like, I'm not doing it. I'm not picking this book up again. I'm not.
It was time. I jumped off very early. I was done after like.
I jumped off early too, but I came back. So I came back for the Moon Knight arc.
Oh right.
And then I stayed. I don't know why. Because I don't even like the Phoenix.
Right.
I don't even like the Phoenix. I think I just want to see the heroes fight, and then it was like, all right, this is just getting done, and then it just like it ended up as what it is. So that was that.
At least it didn't end with Jean getting the Phoenix again or something, because
she deserves it.
She is a lot more interesting without it, but
I think she and the Phoenix deserve each other.
I see what you're saying.
But it was weird. It's just a weird arc. Javier Garron's art is beautiful. He's fantastic.
Yeah, he's a great artist.
He has been consistently killing it on here. David Curio's colors are magnificent. He is probably one of my favorite current colorists right now. So it's like totally into him. I would give this issue just a 2 out of 5. Just like it's
that
just
sounds like that's off the strength of the art alone.
He has Echo do this like monologue about like her Cheyenne heritage and like how she's the Thunderbird, and it was just like, Jason Aaron, please don't do that. Like that is not your place. Like we just got the Indigenous Voices issue with Echo, and it was very good. Like please don't come in here and do this. It was no. So moving on. The next up is Marauders number 19, Jerry Duggan, Stefano Caselli, and colors from Edgar Delgado. This was probably like one of my favorite Marauders issues in a really long time.
Oh, really? I
And
dropped
I
it.
realized because it did not have Emma Frost in it,
That would
and
make
it had
that.
nothing to do with the Hellfire Club. Um, and
Oh,
it was
those
just so
are the biggest
enjoyable.
things about the book that I didn't like.
Yeah, she barely drags it down. This issue was Kate, Bishop, Iceman, and Pyro. So basically, when Shaw killed Kitty, or excuse me, Kate, and Lockheed was dropped to the bottom of the ocean, some people in Madripoor, Lowtown, found him, nursed him back to health. So Kitty helped them. Excuse me, Kate. I can't help but call her Kitty. It's force of habit.
Right, right.
Kate helped them, and so the Verendi, the Kid Hellfire Club,
I don't like
who
them.
they're kind of awful, but they serve their purpose here. They basically attack Lowtown to try and destroy it,
Mhm.
but the mutants can't go unprotected because Madripoor is not in an alliance with Krakoa and the United Nations and all that, so it would be an international incident. And so they have to sneak in. They get Callisto to put a gate in the sewers of Madripoor. They go and get some Morlocks, Mask, Marrow, Bliss, and the other one whose name I can't remember. So they actually go in, help the people of Lowtown
Mm.
get out, and because of that, they start calling it Mutie Town. So basically, the mutants are in Madripoor also now. They've
Oh, okay.
yeah,
Taking over Lowtown.
they've taken over Lowtown. The people are calling it Mutie Town now. So they own the Princess Bar.
Oh, cute.
This is very exciting. And it's I really like what Jerry did with a lot of the character voices here. Everyone kind of got a chance to shine. Kate had her moment. Pyro and Iceman have this little team up. They create a giant pyrotechnic Iceman thing. We don't actually see it, but we hear the ships they're creating a distraction for it against. They're commenting on it, and people are take pictures of it for us.
That's cool.
It's a couple of funny moments like that in there. You have the Morlocks kind of dealing with the question of, as they're killing the post-humans who are attacking Lowtown, they're asking, they're do these people count as humans? Is this against the Krakoan law? Are we gonna get thrown in the pit for this? And but they're well, we don't actually live in Krakoa anyway, so it doesn't matter because the Morlocks have all been living on in the state that's not
Oh,
attached to
okay.
Krakoa. Yeah, Mass has been there. It's been good. It was a good issue. I feel you should pick this up. I think what we've talked about, and you've mentioned how you wanted this book to be them going off, saving people, pirates. You don't like the Hellfire Club. You didn't want all of that. This is exactly what that issue was.
Right. I was under the impression that even when we did get the Hellfire Club, that it was gonna be, Emma giving boss bitch meetings and
Yeah.
giving have you ever seen House of Cards?
Yeah.
She was gonna be in meetings talking like Claire. and but that is not at all what what this book
Yeah.
has been. So that's kind of what made me kind of jump off of it. But maybe it sounds like this issue I would actually end up
I
liking.
would say pick up this issue. I'm gonna be interested to see. This. I feel like this book's getting a bit of a shakeup after the Hellfire Gala. We know Storm is leaving, or she's already left. If she wasn't in this issue, at least. I feel like Emma kind of won't be around as much anymore. I don't know. That's just a hunch. I know Jerry's also taking over another book. I wonder if he's going to still continue to write this one, or if this will go over to somebody else and it'll get another shift that way, kind of like what Vita did when they took over New Mutants. But we'll see. Again, this issue was good. I would give it
It's
4 out
not
of
getting
5.
canceled or anything, is it? Is
I don't
after
think so.
Jerry leaves to do the other book?
I don't think so.
Okay.
I don't think so. What I've noticed is that most of the X book writers right now actually either have 2 books or will have 2 books in the future.
Okay. Good for them.
Yeah, right. So we can do something. But so that was that. I would actually give this issue a 4 out of 5. Probably one of my favorite Marauders issues to date. I really enjoyed it. It was great. It was great.
Wow.
I even enjoyed Kate.
Yeah. That was really the thing that brought me away from this book. I don't really like Emma outside of a fashion moment and and when she does stuff for the kids, but I don't really care about her. And the Hellfire stuff was not hitting, and I don't really care about Kate. So I was not here for the Emma and Kate show in this book, in this series.
And I think I liked Kate because she wasn't with Emma. She was interacting with other characters who I like. So it was cool. Yeah. But that was that. And so the last book on our list for the day. My favorite book, Excalibur, issue number 20 from Teenie Howard and Marcus Toe. with art, color art. I cannot say that together for today for some reason. With art and colors by Eric Nasiega.
I did not read this. I dropped this. I'm sorry. I just I've had to accept that I just did not. I don't care about Excalibur, like the stuff that they were doing in there. I was hoping to get some. I was only really in Excalibur for Betsy and like her journey as Captain Britain, but like the whole team don't do nothing, and every time I'd walk away from the issues, I was always like, what? So I just dropped it.
I mean, so I don't mind that the rest of the team does nothing because honestly, I don't care about anybody else on the team but Betsy. Like truly, like this book could be about nobody but the Braddocks, and I would be perfectly fine. Like everybody else could go.
Yeah.
But also to your point, they don't do anything, so there's not really a reason for me to care about them. I think this issue kind of reminded me that Excalibur gives me like whiplash. Because the way that I can like jump back and forth with my feelings on the issue, like I already spoke about why I didn't really care for 19 and what I felt about what I felt as though it didn't do for Betsy in her story arc and her character. And so I was kind of like cautiously optimistic that this one would do some of that. I feel like it did, but it was just in a very clumsy way. So in this issue, we basically have Malice is on Krakoa. She took over the body of Emma Frost. She went through a gate. Her psychic form went through a gate. She took over the body of Emma Frost, and so like Betsy and Psylocke 2 basically stop her from completely taking her over. But Charles walks in, and he's like, "Oh, that's Malice. We're gonna throw her in the pit because she attacked a council member." And like Betsy and Psylocke 2 are kind of like, maybe not. Like, isn't Krakoa supposed to be allowed giving second chances and like letting people redeem themselves? Like, she's young. Like, let us try and talk to her. We also get the origin story of Malice, which is something I don't think we've ever had before.
No, we've never gotten that.
Basically, she's a 16-year-old girl. She was like, she was suffering from depression, it seems like, in the issues, and she was kind of having an argument with her mom, and when her mom comes up to bring her some food, she finds her basically dead on the ground, and we see like Malice's psychic form there. I guess this is like her mutant powers activated, how she became the psychic entity she was, and then she just like flies off, and then that's how she becomes the Malice we know, which honestly felt a little strange. I've never read Malice as a teenager.
Me neither.
And like maybe you could be, and that's why I was like, I'm kind of upset you didn't read it now, because you're supposed to be the Malice guy because you are a Polaris fan, and Malice and Polaris like have a very like heavy connection, and so I want to get your opinion on that. Has she ever seemed that way to you? What are your thoughts there?
No, she's always. That's kind of weird that they would end up making her a teenager. And for the listeners and people not watching, I'm literally wearing a Polaris t-shirt right now. And that's weird that she would come across as a teenager, because when she controlled Polaris during the whole Marauders thing,
yeah,
she was supposed to be like Sinister's like right hand general kind of character, and she never came across as like inept or like a teenager or like a lost child or anything. She was like, I know, I know what I'm doing.
She was giving you Psylocke 2, 45-year-old assassin.
Yeah.
I totally understand that. So that was a little strange to me. And so then you kind of we go into the rest of the issue, and so then we like see Betsy, Rogue, and Jubilee like are in Betsy's room. She's trying on clothes. But she's like talking about how they don't really fit her, and so that's when Psylocke 2 walks in, and she's like, "Oh, these clothes don't fit me because they were made for your body." And it's like that also doesn't make sense, because like a big part of the body swap was always that like Betsy and Keenan were like physically the same.
Right.
Like, same height, same frame, like, or not the same frame, but like same height, same, but like it was supposed to be like a swap merging of them. But you know, she comes in and she's like, we need to deal with this Malice situation. So we also get like some really interesting bits with them. I will say I was very much in the camp of I never needed to see them together again. Like I was very much okay with them giving Rogue, Carol, We don't really bang together, but we can do the job together.
We could do the job together, yeah.
Teeny seems to kind of be trying to make them come to a place of friendship, which is fine. It actually is kind of cute here. And we see that Betsy can hold Psylocke 2's psychic knife.
Oh.
Yeah, which is like, again, it kind of calls back to last issue, how she was saying that they're always going to be connected in ways that they'll probably never fully understand. So
wait. What do you mean she can hold her psychic knife?
Like she drops it. Like it's
Oh.
like a psychic dagger, and she drops it, and like Betsy catches it.
Oh, okay.
And she says it. She's like, I've only ever been the only person who can like hold that when I make it. And so she was like, oh well, okay. You wouldn't know how to make a psychic knife if it wasn't for me, but okay.
I mean, T.
Like, get into it. But so they go into this mindscape of Malice. Betsy kicks Kwannon out to deal with Malice, and she talks about how, come to Krakoa, get your second chance. We can make you a body. Like, we can try and help you get out of this funk you're in. They fight a little bit. Betsy does have some moments about, like, you know, I might have lost that fight. Because Malice tries to goad her, like, oh, you lost that fight with Iska, which wasn't really a fight. But she was, you know, Betsy's like, you know, I might have lost that fight, but we still won the war. She was like, I am a fighter. You trying to goad me isn't going to work. I've done this before. I've fought my own shadow. You can't, like, manifest yourself as me and, like, make me back down. It's not going to work. So I really enjoyed that moment for her. All in all, they managed to kind of free Malice, give her a body. Charles is like, we throwing her in the pit.
I mean,
Charles is like, Charles does not see it for her at all. He's like, I'm reading her mind right now. He's like, she's still very like volatile. She's still very like angry. I don't see that she feels forgiveness or anything, or she feels sorrow for anything that she's done. But all the girls are like, Betsy, Psylocke 2, and Emma are all like, no, like, we're gonna show mercy. It's okay. She didn't actually harm us. Let's help this child find a second chance. So Charles is like, fine. The issue as a whole is kind of supposed to be a discussion.
They didn't give Lorna no say.
No, I mean, so there is a data page in the book that talks about like all of Malice's previous targets, and like Polaris is on the list. And I was like, oh, look at that. She got mentioned. The issue as a whole is kind of supposed to be a discussion around depression and suicide. There is, at the end of the issue, there's like a little blurb, you know, if you know anyone who's feeling depressed or you're feeling suicidal, like, look for help. So it's, again, I understand. I feel as though it just wasn't happened the best, because even the way they kind of handle Malice, it's, we give her a body, go be happy. Like, you're on this island now, you got your second chance, like, don't mess it up. It's like, okay, but what are we actually going to do to, like, help her? Like, I think, especially with Psylocke 2 being there, it would have been like, okay, let's add her to the Hellions and try and, like, do something there. Like, let's move her out. I don't know. Again, it might happen in the book. I don't know, but just the way it ended off in this issue, it felt a little strange. And it was just kind of like, okay, like, I guess. With Betsy, again, this is where I say I get the whiplash, because the way Teeny writes her, from last issue to this issue is so completely different. And again, last issue was so completely different from issue 17, which was different from 13. And when she gets Betsy's voice, like, she gets it, like, it's there. You get this like kind of confident woman. They've also started the trend, not the trend, but the take of that. A part of why Betsy enjoyed being in Kwannon's body was because she hated her own. In the Age of X-Men miniseries that happened, Extremis, Leah Williams had Betsy saying that she suffered from like body dysmorphia, and she kind of hated her body, and like that's why she was always nice to Kwannon's body. And so I guess Teeny is taking that into this one. She makes a comment to Malice about how she never liked her original body. She's like, oh, we can make you a new body in Krakoa. Like, they made the one that I'm currently in. I never liked my original one, so like it doesn't matter to me. And I don't like that. I do not enjoy it, and honestly, like, it kind of
This is a safe space. You could say it.
So first of all, like body dysmorphia is like a very slippery slope, like in and of itself. This is for someone like I talk about how I go to the gym. This is someone who suffers from some body dysmorphia of his own. You know what I'm saying? Like I
Yeah.
get it. I understand the like struggles of dealing with your body, attaining perfection, all of those kinds of things. I don't think that's something that Betsy has ever dealt with. Or not to the level of she hated her body. And I feel like even having her say that on the page, it takes away from the Mystery and Madripoor arc where she recreated her original body. You know, after Sapphire Sticks had like kind of killed her in Psylocke 2's body, she like uses her psychic energy to recreate herself in the image that she sees as the best. And she like has this whole monologue at the end of the issue about how for so long everyone else was controlling her body and doing whatever they wanted with it and like using her and abusing her, and like she's finally found that strength to take it back and reclaim herself and like be confident in that. And so now to come back and her to be like, oh no, I always hated it, it really takes away from that story arc and that moment for her. And then it's also as things like the one thing that she hated, everybody using and abusing her body, doing whatever they want with it, they did it like 8 times in this story arc.
Yeah.
It was just like it was just like, oh my gosh, it was just like, so it loses a lot of its agency for me. And then to even kind of have Betsy sit back and be like, oh, I hated my body, that's why I stayed in Quanen's body. It's like now she comes off kind of gross.
Yeah.
It's just like it's just like, no, it's like that's not what the story was ever about. It was, and again, it's different because even in the last issue, you have Psylocke 2 making the comment how they were both victims. It's
Right.
like,
Yeah.
like she says, like this was something that was done to us. The line, it just really does not feel right. I think it's a really strange, again, slippery slope to go on, and I think it's a big misreading of the story of Betsy in general and just kind of like what she's gone through, what the swap means for her, and what it all entails. I do not enjoy it. And someone made the comment, I was talking to some other Betsy fans, and we've just been like, you know, talking about the arcs and things like that. And they were saying they don't think Teeny likes they were talking about how they don't think Teeny likes Betsy. And I was like, I don't think that's true. I was like, I think Teeny likes Betsy, but you know, we've always kind of talked about how Teeny is fairly new to comics. I think she's kind of in like year 5 or 6 of writing, even less than that because about a year and a half of it was paused due to the pandemic. But I think she likes Betsy, but I just don't think she said she wasn't an avid comic book reader. So I don't think she's read a lot of Betsy's stories. And she's mentioned how she's read a lot of the old Captain Britain stuff, and her favorite Betsy is pre-X-Men Strike Betsy.
Oh, okay.
And it's like
Not even Outback era, just like way before. Okay.
not even the Outback era. Like yes.
Okay.
Like the pink armor and cape is right there.
I
Like,
mean, I figured we all
like
go
if,
back to that.
like if you want to go back to a template, let's go back to the template, okay? How do you think we got modern day Emma Frost? Let's talk about it. We can talk about it. But so my thing is like, you know, this version of Betsy that she likes, it's very much, or the version of Betsy that she likes that it feels like she's writing on the page is a Betsy who says she's gone through all of the things that we have read throughout the years, but doesn't know how to apply any of it. You know, and I guess that's where the disconnect is coming for me, or what I've realized I think the disconnect for me is. So it's like she keeps saying these things like, oh yeah, I'm a fighter, like I know how to do this, I can do this, I have all this knowledge, I have all this history, I have all these skills, I've been here. But then it's like you get her there and she's acting like pre-X-Men Strike Betsy who didn't know how to do any of those things. And so it's just it's like it's night and day. I think again, and then there are some things with the art that I just feel as though I think both Teeny and Marcus are very talented separately. I do not think that they are a great team. I think there are some times where you read this book and it feels like some pages are missing, or like you've just skipped over something. And I think that's like where, and Teeny's even said, she's like, I like to let my artists go crazy. And it's like, I don't know if they're just like, I think they need to communicate a little bit more, and I don't think they're doing that. So
I'd
All in
like to see
all,
the book get a new style or something and a little bit more of a better like trajectory for me. For me to like really want to get into it again, I feel like it's just like
even the trajectory for me is fine. Like I think about it. So at the beginning of the issue, like Betsy's back. She's talking to the council, and they're telling her about all the things that are going on. They're like, the Queen is mad because they feel as though they don't have their Captain Britain right now, which is like, get over it. Don't you have Union Jack or something? Like you got other people there who can do the job. Captain Britain is a mutant now. She don't care about Britain.
it's
She doesn't
name.
care.
She gotta care.
She don't care anymore. So she's got that going on. They talk about Saturnine and like how Saturnine won't talk about anybody else but Captain Britain, and they've got the whole other world gate going on. They've got there's a data page where Pete Wisdom is like texting Betsy nonstop, talking about how he's coming to the gala with Clan Akaba, who's been, you know what I'm saying? So it's like she's got a lot of stuff to do. And like I think the story is still there, and there's still a lot of things to go with. But I think a lot of things that are supposed to be happening, or that we were supposed to have gotten. Again, I said it before. I felt like we had to pull teeth to get to it. The narrative again is consistently staying strong. The way she's writing the story is good. I think. I don't know. It's just. I guess it's like everything else is fine. Now is it? Do I just not like the characters?
Well, I know I don't.
Or not even do I just not like the characters. I don't know. Is there just enough to keep me as interested? Like, yeah, no, I guess just do I like the characters? Like, I like Betsy. That's fine. And so again, like, but this Malice story felt strange because why have Malice and Psylocke 2 come in and gotten more characterization and story time than half of the book? And so it's like you keep, again, this is where I say it kind of feels like we're being dragged along by the plot because no one else is really interacting with anything. And it's like at some point, like we need to have everybody start interacting with these things. Like this is the book for it. Everybody else kind of has to start speaking up and doing their own thing. And Betsy, I don't know, she just got to stop giving me whiplash with that.
Yeah. Do you feel like that has at least reached a conclusion now as far as the Betsy Psylocke thing?
Yes.
Like that's done. Like they can move past this now.
Yes, I think the last issue and this issue were very much testaments to them moving past it and kind of like going forward. I know a lot of people still aren't happy with it. A lot of people still feel as though it was kind of hollow. We didn't really get to a real resolution for Betsy. But I kind of feel like what else are we going to do? Like, I don't think we're going to revisit it again. And I don't think it's something that needs to be revisited again. I'm so tired of it. Like,
yeah,
I'm tired.
I'm ready to like move back.
Like, it has been 20 plus years of this. And so my thing is like, because I feel like even with Betsy, like Teenie said stuff about how she was going to have Betsy facing her privilege. And even that has felt hollow because it's like, if we really want to get into it, let's talk about how this white woman was in this Asian woman's body. And then she's now back in her white woman body. Like, how are people treating her differently? How is she reacting to that? How does she now view like other minorities and like want to help them? And how does she get back? Especially her being Captain Britain. Like, how is she helping the minorities of Britain? Like, Britain's not white. It's like,
right.
And you can even say that, oh, like she's been on the lens of it. She's been in the lens of the other person. So she knows exactly what they're going through and those microaggressions and things that she can face. And like, let her face that privilege and let her make a difference about it. But we don't even get that.
I think the problem with that is, did she ever really face those issues while she was in that Asian body? Like, did she come face to face with like, I always thought that was kind of a part of the story that she like was in this Asian body, but she's not an Asian woman, so she never fully got the Asian experience.
In the original story, that Betsy washes ashore on a hand compound, and they find her. She's amnesiac. This is just after she like sent all the team through the Siege Perilous, and they find her amnesiac, and they're like, "Oh, we recognize her as the X-Man Psylocke from TV. She doesn't have any memory right now, but she is a formidable psychic. We think we can make her an assassin on par of Elektra." So they like,
my girl.
So they like kidnap her, but they put her body through this like very magical transformative process, kind of get Mojo involved in the body shop, because the whole thing is that we can't have this white woman running around the Chinese underground talking about she's fighting for us. So
Right.
that's why they make her the Asian woman. Fabian Nicieza never read that story. Then he created Quan, which like, and then once he found out, he immediately killed her off. Which started the whole body swap thing, which was like became this like huge confusing mass merger for like the last 20 years. So no writer ever really hit on like what it was for this white woman to be in this Asian woman's body, because again it was like a lot of men writing comics at the time. They wanted their hot psychic ninja Asian babe, like that was it, like let's get into it, it's a fetish. And so a lot of women writers have like said that they would have loved to kind of do it. I remember G. Willow Wilson, when she did the X-Men story arc for like 4 issues, she talked about if she would have been on that run longer, she kind of would have dealt with something like that for Betsy, about her being in this body and like the microaggressions she faces and how she deals with that. And so when you get to Teenie talking about how she wants to have Betsy facing her privilege, it's like, oh, okay, like this is something that we've all kind of been like waiting to see and waiting to get into. And it's like, even that, it's just Betsy like crying, talking about, oh my, and like forcing trying to force alternate reality quantas to accept an apology. And it just doesn't work. I guess it fits. It feels very white woman. It's very like white woman feminist. And so it's so funny. You don't watch it, but I'm watching The Real Housewives of Dallas right now. And there are these two housewives. One is named Brandy and one is named Tiffany. Brandy, a couple of years ago, she did like a very offensive video mocking Asian people, like in their eyes. She like did her eyesight. So like resurfaced, and then right, and so then the Asian the housewife Tiffany is an Asian woman. So like in some of the very first episodes, like Tiffany and Brandy like address it. And like Tiffany comes up to her and Tiffany's like, I understand that you are not racist. You're ignorant. Like it was ignorant. Like, you know what you did was wrong. I don't have to explain that to you was wrong. But let me tell you like why it's wrong. And she like tells her a little bit about her story. And so they kind of like make up. But like Brandy still continues to carry this guilt about this video. And it's just kind of like, girl, she's not even mad at you anymore. Like she doesn't think you're racist. Like she gets it. You're white and stupid. Like, I'm sorry. Like, to any white people who are listening, but minorities, people of color, kind of already understand systemic racism and what it has done, and like
we live
how you know what I'm saying. Like we understand stereotypes and all that stuff. So it's like we already kind of assume that even if you're not like completely, even if you're not a racist, you still got a little bit of like.
Right.
Something. It's a little bit of something in there, and it's not your fault. It is just the way the world has been. Like for so long, we are trying to break down that system. And so like I've been watching that, and I've been like reading this Excalibur story, and it's like so interesting to like see these two white women crying so much, and it's just like, and like the Asian women are just supposed to forgive them, and it's like this was never how kind of like it felt for Betsy in that story in the first. And again, like if that's how you want to take it, that's fine. But if you're gonna say let's have her address it, have her address it. Don't just have her pushing her white woman tears.
Yeah, no.
It's like, and so
I don't know if Teenie would have had the experiences in her own life to kind of know how to do that.
Exactly.
I don't know her like that. So she could have, but
which you know, but that's what I say. It's like this. If it's like it was never. I mean, Betsy is a white woman, but it was always very much she understood that what she was doing was wrong, and it's like the type of character she is. She would understand that it's wrong, and like truly, you're gonna have her address the privilege. Because Betsy's not the type of character who kind of shies away from stuff. Like she is bullheaded, she's stubborn, she'll like confront it head on and have her deal with the repercussions of that. But you just have her like running and crying. Again, this is not the woman who you say you're writing. It's weird. I go through a lot of emotions with this book. It's my favorite book.
At least it's keeping you in and, you know, invoking all these emotions in you. So, and
that's my thing. And I think the thing about Excalibur again is like, it has
better than me. I dropped X Factor a long time ago.
So I think the thing about Excalibur, that Excalibur has really good ideas, and I think the conversations it can lead to are like fantastic. That make you want like that you can come from through this book, whether it be about the Captain Britain Corps, whether it be about mutant magic. I think the exploration of like other realms and like mutants getting stronger in their sense of togetherness is amazing. Again, I think having a mutant Captain Britain is amazing. I think again, if you would actually have Betsy facing her privilege, it would be amazing. I think the concept of the Captain Britain Corps kind of being all mutant now is amazing. I think Otherworld is amazing. Like there's a lot of stuff in here, but it just feels like we're clumsily falling into place. So it's like, are we going to continue clumsily, or are we going to finally stand up straight? I would like to stand up straight.
Standing up. Well, when you start standing up, let me know, because I want to stand up too. So.
All in all, I would honestly give this issue a 3.5 out of 5. Like, again,
Okay.
It's very well written. I think there are just some parts that feel a little heavy-handed, a little awkward. I think the characterization of not even everyone else, just Betsy, is so back and forth that it's really hard to latch onto the parts that you like and say, oh, okay, yeah, like this is great. Like this is the Betsy I want to read about versus like, okay, this is the Betsy I want to be sympathetic about and like kind of watch her grow, because they're just so jarring.
Yeah.
And it's just like the art was nice. Again, I think both of these people are very talented. The coloring's a little. I do think the coloring also helps sometimes. The coloring strange. Like even when they bring Malice back in like her body on Krakoa, her hair is brown, and then like a page later it's black. Yeah, so it's like, I don't know what the editors be doing, but that was Excalibur. Those are the comments. I didn't think I was going to talk about that book for so long.
Hey, it's your page.
It's my favorite book. It has my favorite character. Like I have like,
yeah,
and again, there's some things that I think, even if we're going to do like the body dysmorphia thing for Betsy, like I can even like truly find a way to make that work in my head. Like the doll was a model. She I'm sure she's had some body issues. And I can't really say that like, oh, she's had body issues, but like she didn't hate her body. Body dysmorphia is about lacking control. It's like you're never really gonna know how you feel, but it just doesn't really feel like it was him. The nuance wasn't there of just like what it really was, of what it's supposed to be. So it all just kind of feels like it's slapping you in the face, so you're just supposed to take it. Like, all right. But
there's no nuance there. It just feels like you are forcing a problem that you just want me to see and just accept that it's there, but it really isn't.
Very white woman.
Yeah.
So that was Excalibur. Those were the comics of the week.
All right.
Let's take a break.
All right, y'all. Welcome back to another relaunch. This time we are doing another rewatch, and this is of Invincible episodes 4 and 5. Now, I have been loving this series. I am a big fan of animation, especially like superhero animation and stuff. So I've been really enjoying this series a lot. I used to really read the Invincible comics back in the day. I fell off after a while, but because I was just in college. But like I did used to read the comics a bunch, and this has been really cool to see the translation of them from the comics to screen. And they've updated a lot of it and made it a lot more current. So I've really been enjoying this. I wanted to talk to about these two episodes more of just like a general conversation about them.
Yeah, absolutely.
So that it's not just like a big long thing. So I will say that I liked episode 5 more than 4. But they both were really good. I would say that 4 still gave you like a lot of like background stuff versus like a lot of the action that we kind of been getting before. But 5 was still like a really good episode to me. I'll be basic and just say I was really enjoying the action.
It was different. So no, I was about to say no. I also preferred episode 5 over to 4 because of the action, like that big fight scene with the new Guardians and the big lion with what's his name, Battle Beast, I think his
Yeah,
name
that'll
was,
yeah,
with that
Falcon.
mace. It's something about a mace. It's a very aggressive weapon. First of all, like I feel like if
Right?
you're in a mace, like your intent is to kill somebody, like
You're like,
Hawkman,
I can beat
Hawkgirl.
somebody's ass.
Yeah, like you're going to kill somebody. There's no way to like gently get somebody with a mace. You know what I'm saying? So I thought that was really amazing. I thought that us kind of, I feel like episode 5 was also tailor made for me. We kind of like got into the street a little bit.
Okay, episode 5 was definitely tailor made for you
Like,
because not to and that's not to take anything away from episode 4, which episode 4 was all about kind of more character moments and stuff. You got more stuff with Mark being a superhero and still more stuff with people unraveling the mystery of who killed the Guardians
yeah.
and stuff like that. But 5, I mean, I think at some point they even say like, oh, like street level stuff. Like
Yeah, like this is like literally like they were saying it was like you're all the way up there in the sky. He's like, come look at what happens down the street. And I was just like, yes. Like I literally stood up. I was like,
said
yes.
that exact same line before, so that was
I was like,
I knew this was for you.
I was like, come down here. So no, I thought that was really good. I thought the characters who were a part of it and like kind of watching that guy like play it, so he actually became the one to be the new like crime lord or kingpin or whatever he calls himself. That was pretty dope. So I realized that I don't actually like too many of the characters in this show.
Oh, okay.
I find them very unlikable.
That's fair. All of them?
Which, yeah, just about. And I think that, and again, I think that's why I've also just been like really drawn more to the action. It's just been like, yeah, it's just.
It's
I
good.
mean, but again, like I look at some of the characters, and it's like, of course, I'm not really going to enjoy that much. Invincible himself, like he's a high school. We've talked plenty of times about how we are probably never really going to connect to kids anymore, like the high school age. Like you got to be high, like college or something
Yeah.
like that.
I can
Because
appreciate those characters for what they bring to the table and like all that kind of stuff, but I won't have that much of an attachment to them because
I just look at Invincible and say, God, you're a stupid kid. Like, why are you trying to date this girl and trying to be a superhero? Like, it doesn't work.
right,
Like,
right.
but again, like that's the ego of a teenager, their hubris, and that's how they think they can. We thought that we could do it all. That so Omni-Man is obviously just kind of evil. So I don't know if you could really like him.
Right, right. He does kind of smush people's heads. So
Debbie is great, but at the same time, I look at Debbie and I say, what kind of wife are you? You're supposed to be a ride or die. Like you sit here trying to throw your man in the slammer now. Like you checking around, looking for a bloody costume. He should have been able to come to you and been like, hey, I gotta kill these people, but I need you to know it's all right and it's for a reason. And she should have been like, yeah, I get it.
now see, that is the kind of relationship, that I would be in. You come in with the problems, all right. But it doesn't, I don't think that Omni-Man, I don't think that I don't know if he really cares that deeply.
But that's my
like,
thing, and that's my thing. Also, it's like that's why also Omni-Man himself isn't likable because it's like, why are you such an asshole that you don't feel as though you can trust your wife with whatever's going on? This is the woman who you're raising your child with. You should be able to come and speak to her about anything and know that she will support you. But then again, Debbie is a very good woman. She's a good woman with a good heart. So I'm pretty sure if he did come up and be like, I'm about to go kill all these people, she would have been like, hold on now. She was like, let's just think about this. And then you ruin the plan, and he probably would have had to kill her too. So it's like,
it's a little tricky.
I see. It's like a hex.
See, episode 4 is where we get a lot more inside of her head, where she's starting to see a little bit of that, where she's like, I don't know
if this man I'm married to.
Exactly. Because she had already I think it was episode 2 or 3, I think it was 3. She had that encounter with Demon Darkblood, and he's kind of telling her like, girl, put it all together.
You know what's up. You know what's going on.
Connect the dots, please. And she is starting to see through it. And in episode 4, we saw her and Omni-Man go to Paris to kind of rekindle their relationship. But even then, she's like, I feel like there's something like you're not telling me, and some secrets and stuff there. Would you feel, if you were her, would you feel afraid to date an Omni-Man, or would you just like...
Oh my God, so I was thinking about that, and I don't know if you ever remember. Did you ever watch Smallville?
I did not know.
So there was an episode of Smallville where Lana Lang got like Superman. She got Superman like powers, and so they both had super strength and all that. And so I guess there was supposed to be the scene that was implied of them having super strong sex. And so ever since that, I've always kind of had these thoughts about like superheroes, like normal people who date super strong heroes, and it's just like, if this man like kind of loses control, because Omni-Man is strong.
That's what I'm saying.
You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? Like, this man is strong over here. Like, that's dangerous. Again, I get it.
Mm-hmm.
I would be scared.
I like him a little a little dangerous. But I don't want to my
life. Poor Debbie.
Yeah.
She's a good woman. She doesn't deserve it.
No, she does. I mean, and then like, her son, if he like says, I don't want to do this, what can she really do?
What can she do?
He said
that to her too. He was like, you can't stop me.
What you
So poor them. But
so again, I felt like episode 4 was still pretty good. You also see in that episode, at least that episode ends with Robot, the guy who's now leading the Guardians of the Globe, who was a part of the like teen team or whatever, that he stole some DNA from Rex and he presented it to like this like person at the end of the series, and that is Rudy Connors, who is supposed to be like an extension of Robot himself. So
okay.
Yeah, we're going to see a lot more of what's going on there.
I do not like Robot. I do not like Robot. And then whatever he was... I get Monster Girl is supposed to be 25 years old. I understand.
Is she?
That's the thing, because she gets younger when she turns into a monster.
But did you notice in episode 5... So okay, we're done with episode 4, right? Yeah. So now we're going on to episode 5, and it has the teen team. I think they had come back from a mission. I don't think they were training.
And they were like celebrating, right?
And then she had talked about like, they were drinking.
Yeah, and she didn't want to give her the drink.
But did you notice she said that she was 26? She changed her age.
Did she?
Yeah, because on the episode before that, when she was like, I can't like do the workouts every time because like every time I transform, I get younger.
Yeah.
She was like, that episode, she said she was 23. Then she was like, I'm 23 years old. Then in this episode, she said she was 25.
Oh.
And then later, like while she was walking out, she was like, she said something again about her age, and it was like, yeah, like I can't do this because like if I keep changing, like I'll be gone in a week. And I think the other older guy on the team, I can't think of it, the black guy, he was like, oh, do you trust everybody? And Robot was like, not all of them. And he like looked at Monster Girl. So I think something's going on with her.
I thought it was just him kind of being like obsessed with her. That's how I looked at it. I don't know. Maybe there's something that happened in the comics and you trying to give me a hint to be like, you're wrong.
I ain't gonna give it away.
But when I was originally watching, I was thinking it was a thing like he was kind of like obsessed with her or of some sort, and he was like going to use her blood to make clones of her. But I don't know. I don't like robots, so whatever happens, like I hope he fails.
I don't know what he's doing with all of these people. It's like
he's very sketchy. I was kind of hoping he was going to be one of the ones who died in that battle with machine with the machine head guy, because poor black guy, rest in
Damn.
peace. And first of all, this show is brutal.
Very.
It's
Okay.
brutal, and it's like,
Now,
and it's like,
not
and it's like, I know it's brutal going in, but even when something happens, I'm still kind of like, damn.
yeah.
When they were fighting Battle Beast and he like broke his arm and then just started first, why we keep slamming these black men on the ground like this?
They putting the brothers through it. Just like they gotta get
Like,
slammed to the ground and arms broken.
it was nasty, and then the way he took out Monster Girl was just like, damn, okay, she felt it. Even when Invincible got it,
Gotta be dead, right?
yeah, I think so. It was like
It was brutal.
them heads with the, it was like boom. Battle Beast was given. That's a
Yeah.
fighter. He was given, like, I
So,
was
like this episode we follow Luke Cage.
legit. I was like, oh, Luke.
Wait, we following Luke Cage around, or some dude who can like turn his body into stone, and he is basically like he lives in the hood, and he is trying to like quote unquote get his family out, or like keep them protected or whatever. So he's been working for Machine Head, or like doing work for Machine Head as just like a hired gun,
Right.
or hired muscle. But then, thinking ahead,
Gotta love it. Gotta love
thinking
it.
ahead, he was like, he basically brought the battle to Machine Head by convincing Invincible that, like you said earlier, you are a superhero. You need to come on down to the street level and like see what else is going down here. Come and help me out. And I really like the way that this show kind of shows the real like choices that superhero characters have to make, or at least like super powered characters have to make.
Yes.
Which is
well done.
which is like, do I have these superpowers? Do I only focus on the elephant guy like he fought in this? Like, do I only fight the elephant creature, or do I also help out people who are dealing with like gun violence or drug stuff or whatever? So that was a cool take.
And I like that conversation that they actually had, that like Omni-Man, Debbie, and Invincible had, and he was kind of like, your big picture. This isn't something that you do. This isn't something that you deal with. And as honestly, it's like he got his ass whooped, so maybe it should be something that he does, so he knows how to deal with it. But I agree with that. I think the show does that very well, and I appreciate it, because true is, and even when he was about to fly away, he said it. He was like, "Oh, maybe you could call like Fight Force or something like that." Like,
go get somebody else.
I'm asking you. You a hero. You can't say no to me. What you mean?
Right.
That was good.
I thought that it was interesting that I really can't think of his name. Titan. I want to keep calling him Luke Cage, but it was Titan.
That's what I saw.
But Titan, it was interesting that he was like, he played on the superheroes, like their morality, basically. Yeah. It's like, I know he's not gonna say no. I know he's gonna come down here because he's got these high morals of being a superhero. He's coming down here to come and help me, and I can get him to basically move my problem out of the way. So they come in there like trying to take on Machine Head to basically like let Titan go, but Titan pretty much Machine Head is like, no, you thought you had the one up on me. Actually, like, I got money.
Okay. That's all that matters.
He's like, you think that you come in here all big and bad with your superpowers, but like, I have money. And sure enough, like 6 other supervillains like appear up in the room, and he's like, I can have them take you all on, and they get to fighting. And like you said, this action was giving, like everything. Exactly what we needed. The Battle Beast was dope. The whole entire fight scene was really cool. You see the Guardians of the Globe end up coming back in and trying to help out once, Invincible gets his ass beat. Mm-hmm. And they try to help, and I really do appreciate the way that the action in this is more realistic. And that's obviously like, it's a animated superhero show. So like, obviously none of this shit is real, but I do appreciate the fact that the fights and the way that they're like choreographed feels more real, where they're like bumping into each other and like having to switch targets and stuff like that. And the damage and everything that they take is
when Invincible knocked that villain through the house or the apartment complex, and the apartment complex started coming down, he had to remember like to go save the people who are inside. It was like, if stuff happens to this stuff, like that means something.
I appreciate the stuff like that where it just feels more like authentic to the situation, because I know that I love the super powered characters, and I know that you like the street level characters, but like the one guy who got his arm broke, let's be honest, when characters like that are fighting like battle
so my thing like that was that, like, baby, first, I don't even know why he took off his gear. Like, was that supposed to do something? I thought the gear was like his power and like giving him strength and stuff. So like when he took that off to go like fight head on, I was like, that doesn't seem smart. But it's like when you think about street level heroes,
because it like was broken and like
I mean, even so, it's just like, why are you right? Like clearly this man is like out of your weight class, and it's like you never see like Batman wouldn't do something like that. He's not that stupid. He gonna stay back. He gonna let Superman do what he needs to do, and he's gonna like try and outthink the situation or something like that. But then I also think you have certain street heroes who do have like very strong amounts of power, like a She-Hulk or a Luke Cage. So it's like that's your street hero who you send after battle beasts. Not Billy Blanks.
Right. Billy Blanks.
Like he over here doing his taboo, that's not gonna work. Like, I need you to stop. Like I was like, as soon as he did it, I was like, this man is about to die.
Yeah.
I was like, why would he do that?
It's over. It's lights out. And but that's just that hero mentality. You gotta keep fighting to the end, and that's what he did.
Let me tell you guys right now, know how to retreat, okay?
Listen, sometimes it's okay to bounce.
Sometimes you got to live to fight another day, and that is all right.
I rewatched that first episode, and when Omni-Man came through, that would have been my time to bounce. Like, get yourself around some people.
Okay. Bye. I was walking home from the gym the other day. And there was like this homeless man like coming across the street on the other side of me, and you could tell he was like dealing with some issues mentally, and so he just starts yelling at me, and he's like screaming, he's like, ah! And so at first I'm like, let me just walk past this man, but you kind of think, you're like, you'll never know what can happen. And I was like, so I like ran across this little bush and ran up the street a little bit, and then I turned back around, and I'm just like, why are you yelling? But he's still just yelling. And I was like, let me go home. But yeah, you just gotta know. You gotta know when to run, when to go,
and when to fight. And I thought it was interesting though, because we saw that little glimpse of Omni-Man was watching the whole fight.
Oh yeah, and how he didn't save Invincible.
No, he didn't save. He didn't step in at all. And then I do think that Invincible saw him, like when he was like starting to come to after the end of the battle, and he saw his dad there. I do think that he was there, and that wasn't like a hallucination.
Oh yeah, no. I fully agree that he was there, and I feel like he didn't help on purpose. It's a lesson. I get it. He's not a good guy, but it's a lesson for Invincible to basically be like, you need to listen to me. When I tell you not to do something, or when I tell you something's out of your league, like, you're not ready for certain things, stay on my side. It's manipulation. He's a bad guy. Everyone's kind of unlikable.
Well, I mean, do you gotta like everybody for it to be good?
I would like to like someone. Actually, no, that's not true. I like Alan the Alien. I like Alan the Alien a lot.
I think that's voiced by Seth Rogen.
Yeah, that might be why. No. I also like what is the old guy who like sends the heroes out to places?
Cecil.
I like Cecil. Cecil's my kind of guy.
Cecil gets the job done.
Cecil's my kind of guy.
We did see in episode 4, just to bring that back up, that Cecil.
He's also on
He knows that.
Omni-Man killed.
The Omni-Man killed him. Yeah.
And so I love how he got the sample of Mark's blood. so they could test on it to try and see how to defeat Omni-Man. That was like a really nice touch. Again, showing you that these people are like not really like good people, but like sometimes the hero job is not as black and white as everybody likes to make it.
Yeah.
Which is a conversation to have.
I love those kind of conversations because you know me, I love the characters that's somewhere in the middle. Like
love a gray area.
I love a gray area. And they can lean towards either way. So I like when they at least kind of touch on that gray area with stuff where it's like it's not always so clear cut and black and white. So yeah, I've been loving this show. I'm super excited for what they do. Like I said, I've read the comics in the beginning, so if I hope they get a season 2. I think that's probably where I will not know so much because of the comics or whatever. But if this is following the books, the finale is going to be insane. So
like I said, the animation has been giving. I can only imagine what the finale is going to be like.
Yeah, I think that I do wish that the backgrounds in the show were animated a little bit more. They're a little static in some places. They also mix a lot of 2D and 3D stuff. I don't know if you noticed that a lot of the stuff in the backgrounds are all 3D, so they're just like placing these 2D images over the 3D. A lot of the like students in the school and all that kind of stuff is like 3D. And sometimes it doesn't really mix that well, but I would hope that like maybe in season 2 or whatever, you know, they get a more budget. So because you know, money talks, so an increased budget would make it all even better.
All the time.
All right, so let's take a break. I'm done with the Invincible talk. That was a really great show. I can't wait for Invincible Friday next week. Let's take a break, and then we'll come back for another rewatch.
All right. All right, we're back for the second Another Rewatch, and this time we've got episodes 3 and 4. This was 3 and 4, right? Of Falcon and Winter Soldier? Yes, it was 3 and 4. Yes. We did 1 and 2. So, again, just a big roundtable discussion about the episode as a whole. I really like the show. I think episode 4 was the strongest that it's been so far, just like as a whole, not even necessarily stronger than 3. I have a problem with the show that I kind of want to get out of the way, is that I feel that the humor is injected in very awkward places, and it like takes me out.
I can agree with that.
And this is specific. It like really called to me on episode 3 when they were having the shootout, when they were trying to escape from the bar in Madripoor with Sharon, and Sam and Bucky start arguing. And he's like, "Oh, why'd you go left? Like, you should have followed me this way. Like, I was leading the mission."
Yeah.
And Sharon's like, "Guys, this isn't the time to be arguing about it." And I get it. It was supposed to be like kind of like a funny bickering moment, like brotherly. But it's just like, no, this is genuinely not the time to be doing this right now. And it makes their relationship very odd because one minute, I guess maybe that's supposed to be, again, that brotherly feel that they like hate each other and are really only doing this because they both knew Sam and they're like kind of sad about it. To like, they care about each other so much and they're like joke around. It's just a very jarring shift. And I keep telling myself, I keep asking the question, is it the delivery of the lines or is it just the dialogue itself? And I will say that in the beginning, I would have said that it was the delivery of the lines because I've always said me and Mackie have kind of like a up and down relationship with his acting skills anyway. But between issues 3 and 4, he's doing a really good job at saying. Like issue 4 specifically, when he has the conversation with Carly, and he's kind of like just like talking about past and you know how he connects with her. That was the most Sam-like that I have ever felt Anthony Mackie has been his entire time in the MCU.
That's dope.
I felt like I was actually reading the Sam from the comic books with that issue. So I was like really pleased with that. So I think he's come a really long way and he's really getting into his groove with the character. So that's what makes me kind of feel like maybe it's just the actual dialogue itself. But again, it could just be the awkward placement. I was having a conversation about this on Twitter, again with Twitter user OmniShambles Craig, great guy. You should all follow him.
Love it.
He made the comment to me. He said he felt a little similar. He said it felt like someone was trying to write for an MCU show rather than it actually being one, or like a good cover band doing a bad cover of another band's song. Which both felt very apt.
See.
And I was like, once he said that, I was just like, oh yeah, like that makes sense, and that's where like some of the humor falls for me. So that's like my biggest issue with the show. But other than that,
Does it feel like sometimes the humor comes in where it reminds itself that it's an MCU thing, and it's like, okay,
yeah,
that jokey moments between Sam and Bucky where they're like, butting
exactly, and
heads.
it's like every moment doesn't have to be lightened up. Like
Yeah.
if this is a serious situation, just let it be a serious situation. You guys are
Over there
literally
shooting each other.
I was gonna say y'all are killing people right in front of my face and like breaking their fingers and stuff. I don't need you to remind me that you're owned by Disney.
We try to forget that part.
It's like it's cool. I got it. It's fine. So yeah, that's like my biggest issue with the show. However, again, I feel like it's progressing very nicely. This was the strongest issue. I think the strongest episode was 4, but I love the inclusion of Zemo in the group.
Oh yes, absolutely. We love
He
Zemo.
does it. He does it. And I also love that whenever something happens, he kind of just like sulks to the side. He's like, I'm not getting involved.
This don't got nothing to do with me.
He just disappears and like does his own thing, but he's still like very subtly manipulating the group to do whatever he wants. Also the scene where he like grabbed his purple mask and put it on for the fight, I didn't really get what he had to do that for.
I mean, I loved it just because of like,
yes,
I understand.
I understand.
It's in the comic. They wanted to do it, so we let them do it.
All right, that's fine. I'll give them that one. I'll allow
it. The mask don't even make no damn sense, but just let them do it.
Yeah. So, in this issue, so in episode 3, we kind of like we've got Zemo. We go see him. Bucky has pretty much worked it out so Zemo can break himself out of prison and they don't have to do it and actually be held responsible for it and get in any trouble. And they get him, so they're going to go to Madripoor. They're on track of the Flag Smashers and who have stolen the Super Soldier Serum. That's another one I heard.
They're nice. You did it.
And so I thought that them going to Madripoor was actually really interesting. They played on the Sam was a pimp retcon. It was a little joke in there when they were like walking up.
Oh, I didn't know that. I thought that was just a very interesting and honest take on the fact that like
so no, like as he's walking
why would
in,
an American be like dressed up?
And so like as they're walking into this bar, he has he's wearing his little flashy outfit, he's all dressed up, and he says, "Oh, I look like a pimp." So in the 80s, Steve Englehart, when he was writing Captain America, he wrote a retcon for Sam. He took away the fact that he was like this social worker who helped people, and he crashed his plane and like met Red Wing and got the Cosmic Cube and all this stuff like that. He did Sam was a pimp who used to like run the streets, sell drugs, beat women. It was like and like that's how he came into contact with Captain America, because he was like in some criminal activity, and so like Sam fans have hated
black
it.
Man get saved off the streets. What the fuck?
Exactly. So like hated it. It was like horrible. So that lasted for a long time until Rick Remender, when he did his all new Captain America run, they basically retconned that away to say that was Red Skull manipulating like the Cosmic Cube to make them think that was real. But it was like that was never the true story. He was never a pimp. He wasn't out here smacking hoes.
Like, what the hell?
He wasn't doing any of that stuff. Like he was helping the kids, like he always was. So I thought that was actually like really funny when he said that. We also get Sharon making her grand appearance in a moment. Yes. She came in and she was doing it. Like, she did that.
Yeah. I will say that I did wish that she was Mockingbird in this series.
Ooh.
I felt like it would have...
Adrian Palicki from Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. Mockingbird?
I mean, not necessarily. I personally would have been fine with any actress that was Mockingbird.
We got to just Mockingbird.
Right. Only because I felt like that would have been just a really cool reveal for it and making her a part of the show.
I agree. I do love me some Mockingbird. I enjoy it. Obviously, I enjoy it. I'm a
What
fan
if
of
they
Sharon.
were
I'm a
like,
fan of the Captain
what if they
Marvel
were like
world.
teammates or something? You know,
But
that would.
yeah, that would have been nice. But I like that it is Sharon, and I like how they're kind of building her relationship with Sam because Sharon and Sam are actually like really close in the comic books. Um,
I also didn't know
and
that.
yeah, they have a really good working relationship, a friendship even, especially after Steve died the first time.
Right.
Sam was right there for her, and yes,
Remember
but
the comic? I did read that. Like
I
she
mean,
was the one.
there was some brainwashing going on, some other stuff. We'll hold it against her. It's fine. Like it's fine. He got over it. We all got over it. um, and so I appreciate that, and I appreciate the talk that they had too when she was kind of saying, "I stole the shield. I stole like the jetpack for you guys. I didn't have ties to the Avengers to keep me safe and get me out of prison. Now here I am on the run, and you're giving me your empty promises, and I don't need that." And like, it's interesting because you are getting Sam being made into Captain America or his version of Captain America. You know what I'm saying? And it's different from Steve. And there's actually like a comic book that says it in Ed Brubaker's run of Captain America, issue 38. Bucky is like monologuing. He's going into a fight with Sam, and he talks about how he gets a similar feeling with Steve. He's like, not because Sam reminds him of Steve. He's obviously his own man, but he's like, there's this influence that he has. There's something that kind of makes you want him to like believe that the faith he puts in you is like good because like he truly believes that what he's going to do is going to help. And so you kind of have him here with Sharon, and he's, I guess, starting to realize once again that everybody doesn't have the perks. Like, yes, I may be a black man who's been doing all these things, but I also have my own privileges. You know, I was like an Avenger, so I didn't have to deal with these kind of things. So it's like there's still other people that I have to help in other ways, and you get him working with that. So I really enjoyed that. Um, there was someone else. Oh, how could I forget? Actually, we'll wait for that one. But so we go through that. Things go wrong at the bar. There's great action scenes. I also love how they kind of broke the action scenes up for these episodes. It wasn't as long as the first two, which I feel like might have drained some of the story. And here we get smaller shots, but they're more intense. Bucky and the Princess Bar beating those guys up for Zemo.
Yeah.
Everything.
I also loved Madripoor. I loved the way that it was like the lighting in it, the design, like the set design and all that stuff for Madripoor was fantastic.
There were no Asian people. For it to be for it to be on the
Like off the
continent,
coast, yeah.
it's just kind of like we didn't see a single one, so that was strange. Did you know the Princess Bar actually first appeared in Wolverine? That is where he goes as Patch.
At Patch, yeah,
Yeah,
that's what I thought. Yeah,
when he wears his little white tuxedo and his little eye patch.
yeah,
So like as
which
soon
makes
as
me think they're coming back here.
I love Madripoor, and so I was honestly looking like throughout the crowd. I was like, maybe they're gonna give us like a little Easter egg and show some short man in like a white dinner jacket or something like that. I was like, just wear his
That would have
patch.
been funny if
I
it
was
would have
like,
been a cute Easter egg.
I was like, but that wasn't there, so that was that. But yeah, Madripoor looked great. The Princess Bar looked great. So we get them out. We also meet up with the guy who's like recreated the super soldier serum. Didn't get it that time. And he talks about how he was like very close to recreating it, but then the blip happened, and so then he came back, and then the power brokers have funded him to do it. That's why the Flag Smashers have it. They're trying to do this thing. Which do you feel the Flag Smashers are wrong? Are you on their side, or are you against
Absolutely,
them?
I'm signing up. I don't know what you're talking about, but I'm signing up. Pass me the form.
Oh my gosh, yeah, I
They
feel
haven't
it.
done anything. They haven't said anything wrong to me. It sounds like I need to go help out.
Yeah, anyway. But then episode 3 ends with Bucky walking out, and who we see, Miss Dora Milaje herself
Yes, yes.
standing there. And so then
Yeah.
we go into episode 4. We've got Ao and Bucky talking about how he broke Zemo out and how like, no, that's not gonna work. He killed our king. He's got to ride. And so Bucky's trying to convince her that we need him. She gives him 8 hours and says we coming for him. And I just like, if there's one thing the MCU has done right, it's the Dora.
Oh, for sure. Yeah.
The Dora dolls The Dora dolls.
Yes, the
Okay?
door.
The Dora dolls.
I
They
know that's.
are they are everything.
Hmm.
And every single woman, like no matter who she is, like she has that same intensity, that same ferocity, like they all feel like warriors. And I think that is amazing about them. Beautiful, beautiful women.
Yes.
Um, so we continue on with that. We go in, I also really enjoyed their fight with John Walker.
Oh, they was beating his ass. I was living for Winter Soldier, watching it. Like,
Just like loving it, loving it,
he was like,
loving
"Hey,
it. He was just like, it is what it is. I don't know what you want me to do. Those
okay,
girls can battle.
you
That
done
was
got
a really
me."
great. That was a really nice little moment. How did you feel about like Bucky speaking Wakandan and all that stuff, and that like whole scene with him and Ao, and like her helping him break through his program?
I thought that was a really like heart like felt scene, and because the acting that Sebastian Stan was giving there, you really felt like he was like, this isn't gonna work. Like
Yeah,
I've like he really felt like he was just the end of his ropes, and he's tried everything to have the brainwashing removed or whatever. And when Ao was reciting his trigger words or whatever, and in Russian, which I think is really cool that all the spies like know all these different languages and stuff. I think that's cool. The spies be kind of giving. I see what you mean
everything.
with the street level. They give.
Come on
Um,
down, come on down.
but I did like that when they finally like said all of his trigger words and it didn't happen for him, like he wasn't
Yeah,
under control, like he started like crying or whatever. I thought that was really
yeah,
really dope.
it
And I
was
think
good.
Sebastian Stan look a little cuter to me with longer hair.
No, I prefer the short.
Oh,
I'm
I
down
go.
with the short. But no, but again, that's what I was saying. Like, I feel like episode 4, it's like when those moments of like the awkward humor isn't placed in there, it is
Mm.
so good, and like the people are really feeling comfortable in these roles, and like they're acting a little bit now. So it's kind of like, okay, it's like I see what y'all are trying to give. So,
Again, I appreciate these Disney Plus shows really giving these characters the space to breathe and
mm-hmm,
become bigger, as far as their personalities, and letting that shine for them, because we all know certain characters are always going to be in the forefront as far as the movies go.
yeah,
DC's got the Trinity, and at this point, Marvel's kind of got their own like Trinity kind of growing as far as with
you do.
Cap, Iron Man, and Thor. Like that
Mm-hmm.
they're gonna get some stuff. So it's nice to see that with such an expanded roster of characters, that other characters can get some more
Yeah,
shine.
yeah, absolutely, for sure. And I can hope that trend continues. We getting Yelena and all of them as well, so it's
Yeah.
like,
Oh yeah, yeah.
let's keep it
And
going.
I think they've said that she's gonna be in that Hawkeye Disney Plus
Yes,
show.
she is. She is.
Yeah.
So, hopefully when Black Widow actually comes out, ever, we can see that, and then we'll get Hawkeye, and we'll be good to go. Uh, one of the other
I
things,
some set photos of your girl Echo.
you saw set photos? You have to send me those.
she's given. I was like, oh
You gotta,
wow.
you gotta send me those.
For sure. I was like, wow, you just keep winning.
Wow, 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 wow. I'm really excited for that. Okay, yes. Wow, what were we talking about? Falcon and Winter Soldier. No. So eventually, we catch up with Carly and the Flag. Carly is basically like the leader of the Flag Smashers. Oh, okay. I also really love the scene where they go to the place where the woman who kind of was taking care of all the refugees, and like nobody would talk to Sam or Bucky, and they were like asking about, and the guy was telling them, he was like, I can't trust you. Like, I know who you are. I know what you might have been through. He's like, but you're still like this American guy. And again, I love how this show kind of calls back, or not calls back, but gives calls to like America and its problems with systemic racism and like its own dictatorships of some tyranny sometimes. I do, I do feel like they kind of dance around the topic, especially with Sam, and like once John Walker pops back up on the scene when he catches up with Bucky and all them, and he's trying to like assert his authority. And even when people talk to him about like why did he give up the shield and how he shouldn't have done it, I feel like we kind of tiptoe around calling it what it is, like racism.
Right.
um, and there's just like this underlying thing, and I feel like it kind of undercuts the theme a little bit. Like like say it. Like we already know what it is. Like it's very obvious. Like we get it. We know like it's okay to say it and like so we can find a way to and it's like I don't know if we're purposely not saying it or if they're trying to wait to use it as like the big bad reveal. It's gonna be like
During his big speech.
yeah, it's like this is who our evil person is. It's racism. But it's like no, it's like just say it. And I kind of feel like if they don't say it, it'll be a cop out.
A little bit, yeah, for sure.
Like definitely. But I will say I continue to love hating John Walker, and I love watching him get humiliated, whether it be from the Dora, whether it be from Zemo outsmarting him, whether it be from Carly knocking him out because he does whatever. Um, he does take the leftover serum. You know,
Yeah.
we see that once Zemo kind of catches Carly, he crushes all the super soldier serums that she took, but misses one. John Walker grabs that one. He obviously takes it. And we see him like kind of jumped up, but he's going crazy now. Like his mental is messed up. And then we get Battlestar. Now, I'm sorry, Lamar Hoskins. Poor Agent Hoskins, because when we even first get there, like you can tell that John is like going crazy, and even Lamar's kind of like, you need to calm down. Like let Sam go talk to the girl. Let's do this. Let's do that. And you can just tell he's in such an awkward like middle position. I thought it was really interesting hearing the two conversations about when Zemo asked Sam if he would take the serum, and Sam was like no, with no hesitation. But when Walker asked Hoskins, he was like, hell yeah. And kind of like the different reasonings of that. I thought it's just it shows like even when they're the same, they're still so very different.
Yes.
And it's like watching that play out has been super great, even though it doesn't turn out that good for Hoskins. Here's a spoiler for anyone who has not seen it yet. Hopefully you have. Mr. Hoskins dies.
Carly punched his ass in the chest.
Now, did you hear the ribs crack when she punched him?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh!
Hit the back of that.
And then he hit the thing, and then the neck. I was like, okay, so yeah, so when they finally catch up with the Flag Smashers, they catch Hoskins because he like cannot fight. Everybody was beating him up. Like he like never got a moment to shine. Like he just was since day one has been kind of bad, which is kind of Battlestar in the comics sometimes. So I guess that's accurate. And they kidnap him. When they're all confronting each other, he like tries. Carly's about to like kill John Walker, and Lamar jumps in to try and protect him. She punches him in his chest. He like goes flying, breaks his neck, his back, everything's done. And then we see John Walker kind of go crazy, but everybody's like getting out of there, and he starts chasing one of the guys who was on the team of the Flag Smashers, catches him, takes him outside, like gets him outside in front of everybody. Like there's a big crowd, they're starting to come around. The guy's like, it wasn't me, I didn't do it, I don't know where he is. And John Walker, again, spoiler alert, kills him with the shield. With the shield, like started banging it down on him. And then you see him just holding the shield with like blood on it, and you have all the crowd like watching and recording on their phones and things like that. And Sam and Bucky come in, and the episode ends. And it was just like, again, this is America.
That was something. I wasn't expecting him to damn near like decapitate the man. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like
my neck was hurting.
Like
from Battlestar to that.
I feel like people used to always give or still do anyway, give the MCU flack for being Disney, and it's always, a joke with stuff and it's never that serious. But like
Baby, that was dark.
I mean, that's very dark.
Like that was very dark. We just watched this cop like kill this man in broad daylight, and everyone got it on their cameras. And it's like again, it's like now we're going to look at it. I'm very excited to get to the next episode now because like we're going to have the fallout from that. All the people who like did this thing to make this man Captain America, and like we see him doing this. Are they going to try and just say, okay, yeah, the man was a terrorist, so it was okay? Are they going to like try and do something to get him out of the spotlight? Then you're going to have Sam, of course, still kind of grappling with it all and having to process that. Then you also got Carly, who's like kind of calling his sister, and she's trying to. Carly's clicking down. I appreciate what the Flag Smashers stand for, but
I, absolutely.
Carly herself, she's clicking down.
Mm. She's losing control a little bit of the situation. You know,
Very much
she's
so. Very
a little
much
bit
so.
in over her head, where it is you are very passionate about your cause, but you don't think you really thought all this through all the way through.
Okay.
Um, I do think that I don't think that she is going to make it out of this show. I think she's probably going to die at the end. I also have a guess that the power broker is Thunderbolt Ross.
Oh, okay. What
I do.
gives you that?
Because I feel like the government or whatever I feel like is the one who has been trying to get the recreation of the super soldier
Super.
serum. And I couldn't even think of that. I think he's the one that's trying to get the super soldier serum, and I think that he also, is Red Hulk in the comics, right? He's probably gonna want to try to get something where he ends up taking it himself. So I feel like he is the power broker currently.
Oh,
That's
okay.
just
So
my
you
guess.
so you think we're going to a Red Hulk world?
Yes, I do.
Okay.
I
I mean, I'd
think,
be into that.
or at the very least, he is going to be trying to get the serum or whatever to make like the Thunderbolts or something. But I do
Mhm.
think that he is trying to get to a Red Hulk.
Okay, I can see either one of them. I would appreciate some Thunderbolts, and I could definitely see Thunderbolts spinning out of this. I mean, we got Zemo. Um,
Mhm.
I
I, I
also
don't know what's going on with Zemo. They obviously like I don't know if he's done. I think that the Dora are probably also still chasing after him. So I don't know if they're going to like what they're going to do with him because if you
oh
don't
yeah,
watch
he gets
for
away.
2 seconds,
He gets away. He got away again.
just which I love, which is like very Zemo and comic books because it's why did y'all trust him? It's Zemo.
Like we knew exactly what was going on, and it was always great to just kind of watch him slinking around and like just doing stuff, meeting with the kids, giving them candy. Poor kids love candy. We got to teach our kids to stop loving candy because they would do anything.
I can't tell them that because I love it my damn self. So
It's bad.
and
Like
also I like that scene with the kids and the candy because that to me showed how Zemo thinks versus how the others think because they just went around just kind of like looking for him because
bulldozing into the place.
Sam is the superhero and Bucky's the
Bucky's,
spy. He's
yeah.
like asking people or whatever, but Zemo is like no, the kids they're the ones who got the answers.
You gotta look at the ones who
Who
see
are watching.
everything. That's why I kind of want Sam to talk to birds again.
You
I
think
want
so?
that. I want that ability in the MCU. I was like reading some Captain America comics earlier today, and like he was doing some recon with like Tony Stark and stuff like that. He was like, "Oh, my sources saw whoever," and he was like, "Who were they?" And he was like, "It was some pigeon." And I was just like, "Yeah." I was like, "I kind of want that again. I want that type of aerial view ability." But yeah, love the scene with Zemo and the kids. That was great. I just love Zemo in general. He's actually probably like top three of my MCU villains.
Yeah, that could be fair. Yeah, he's fantastic. You already know why I want Zemo to continue. I mean, listeners and everybody, y'all already know what I'm waiting for him to get to.
So I did think I thought last night, and I might just be reaching here, but I was like, I wonder if they'll find a way to tie Sam and Moon Knight together because Sam's role in the MCU, he's like you said, he's been a counselor for vets with like
Oh,
suffering from PTSD and trauma and stuff like that, and that is very much Moon Knight. And so
maybe he's doing it again or something, and like,
I was crossing my fingers for the people who can't. For the people who are listening and not watching, I was crossing my fingers. So yeah, I would like that connection to be made some type of way.
mm, that'd be really cool.
Yeah.
You know what? That to me sounds like you probably already know that's in the works, and because I swear if you say it, it ends up happening in the
Yeah,
MCU. So.
it's just like I just put really positive energy out into the universe sometimes. It's just like
Mm.
but yeah, so that was that. Really excited for the next episode. Loving the show so far. We only got two more. So
Yeah, be quick.
be ready for another little double feature.
Yeah. All right, y'all. Well, that brings us to the end of the show. You can find us on Twitter at Another Relaunch. You can find us on YouTube also at Another Relaunch TV. Going to be looking out for that. And you can find us if you have any questions, comments, or whatever, any of your own relaunches, suggestions you want us to read out loud, send us an email at anotherrelaunch@gmail.com. You can find me on social media, wherever I'm at Uncanny LZ. I'm trying to like change all of my social media stuff into the same things.
I thought we had this discussion and we agreed that you weren't going to do that.
Oh, well, I did it. So if it's Uncanny LZ on something, that's probably me. So, Keenan, where can they find you?
You can find me on Twitter and IG and most other social media content at Keenan Lance. You know, there's an underscore at the end. And so I actually want to announce to everyone that I'm very upset right now. We were going to do another reread.
Okay.
And we were going to announce it today. So for next week, everybody could kind of read along with us and talk about it and hear the thoughts. We put a nice little poll out. I looked at the results. It's a tie.
Ciao.
So we tied. So the choices were JLA Titans, Technos Imperative, Avengers No Surrender, Batman Under the Red Hood, Dark Avengers versus the X-Men. There has been a tie for JLA Titans and Avengers No Surrender.
Ooh.
So I'll let you break the tie.
Me? What? Okay. Oh no! Damn, put me on the spot.
That's what's.
How long is JLA and Titan versus Titans?
3 issues.
Oh, I don't know. Was that?
Yeah, they're like 3 long issues.
Okay, like extended issues. Okay, I've never read that.
JLA Titans, it is.
Yeah.
JLA Titans. Technos Imperative. All right, that's the reread for next week. Boom.
Yeah. Okay, boom. All right, y'all. Let's get up out of here. Don't forget to read JLA versus Titans, and we'll see you guys next week.